college basketball is back, and tonight it's the season opener for the South Carolina Gamecocks as they play host to Grand Canyon. I'm Dave Weinstein alongside John Williams. Some new faces this season, new roles, but for the Gamecocks, John, the standard is the standard.
Yeah, what a time to be alive, to be able to see Coach Don Staley initiate that standard, be able to establish that winning culture that we have seen time in and time out. And it's going to be fun to watch. Obviously, last year, they didn't have the season that they wanted with the exclamation point and hanging up another banner, but this year could be their year.
Let's talk players to watch and start with Grand Canyon and their impact transfer, Chloe Mann.
Yeah, Chloe Mann is such a dynamic player, transferring from Cincinnati University, a downhill creator, a pace pusher. She's going to be known as one of the primary scorers for Grand Canyon this upcoming season.
She's not the only impact transfer we will see tonight. The best of the bunch, Ta'Niya Latson.
Yeah, Ta'Niya Latson is one of those players that can give you however you want it buckets. I mean, she's going to be one of the primary creators for the Gamecocks, one of the main scorers. She's a pace setter, crazy in the open floor, a tough shot maker. One of the fun things I love watching about her is her ability to make and take tough shots at a high clip.
First all-time meeting between the Gamecocks and Grand Canyon, and South Carolina controls the tip. Running the show, the redshirt senior, Raven Johnson. Averaging 79.1 points per game a season ago. First possession and one.
You see right away Ta'Niya Latson getting after it, getting to the middle of the floor, using that screen, getting that paint touch, absorbing contact, and finishing.
Latson, a senior guard from Miami, Florida. Preseason first-team All-American, preseason All-SEC second-team member. Led the nation in scoring a year ago. Edwards comes down with the rebound. Another opportunity here for the Gamecocks. Last season, South Carolina shot 47% from the field, 34% from three. Johnson, you look offense this season.
Yeah, obviously Tessa Johnson's going to be one of those floor spreaders for the Gamecocks, being able to shoot the ball from the three, but I think that we'll see more from her as well as her mid-range ability, as well as her ability to get those paint touches.
Foul called on your player to watch, Chloe Mann. She picks up her first. So already 2 fouls on Grand Canyon. Raven Johnson, yearly award winner. SEC All-Defensive Team last season. She'll inbound. Edwards looks inside. The foul on the floor. She found O'Coat in the paint. The foul will go on Holly Griffiths. Picks up her first.
Yeah, Grand Canyon's going to have their hands full dealing with the paint presence and powerhouse down low with South Carolina.
And they're going to bring in some size. Faith Clarkson. Let's take a look at Coach Staley in her 18th season, 3-time national champion, 2017, 2022, 2024. Johnson's hoping for 2026 this spring.
Yeah, I've got a theory, man. When they lose a season before they end up winning the national championship that next year around, they have a run-it-back mentality.
In the corner, that was Raven Johnson. Her first three-pointer of the season. It's a 5-0 lead for South Carolina. And now down 5, John. Grand Canyon gets their first possession.
Yeah, and a lot of that came from South Carolina being ultra-aggressive in that paint area, creating second chances, getting to the free throw line. And as you see now, they are in the open floor.
Oh, what a move from Latson. It's a 7-0 run to start the game.
We talked about it. Super fun to watch Ta'Niya Latson get out in that open floor and start to create and dance.
There's a Cincy transfer, Mann. Johnson all over Mann. Lamondola coming over from Indiana. And timeout called by Coach Gandy. Winston Gandy in his first season at the helm for Grand Canyon. Of course, his previous 2 seasons, he was an assistant here at South Carolina under Dawn Staley. Helped coach the Gamecocks to a national championship and an undefeated season in 2023-24. Of course, they were national runner-up last season.
One thing about Coach Gandy is everybody knows him for that huge scouting report that they had against Caitlin Clark to come up with that win. And the reason being is because he did not sleep for several days, making sure that they could counter everything that she threw. And obviously Caitlin Clark, one of the top players in the world. But Coach Gandy did a fantastic job on that scout in marking her and making her shots tough.
Well, Coach Staley talked about going up against Winston Gandy today. Said it's cool to see him get his dream, right? His dream is becoming a head coach. They needed a game. She said, we needed a game to complete our schedule. But it shows what type of coach he is, that he's not afraid to play anybody right off the bat, anywhere, anytime. And that holds true for us, Coach Staley said. It holds true for our coaching tree. But it's great to hug him, love up on him, and she wishes nothing but success for him. Of course, not tonight, John.
Yeah, not tonight. Any other game except for tonight. And that just tells you, obviously Coach Staley does a fantastic job of coaching up coaches to go out and be the, reach their goals. And Coach Gandy's goal was to be a head coach, and he's got the ability to live out that dream with a team that he thinks can go pretty far in the Mountain West.
Well, you saw that last graphic. They've had a lot of success the last few seasons before Coach Gandy took over. And you asked him in our call about carrying on that winning culture, John. He said, I don't shy away from the fact that they had a great year last year. My charge is to elevate the program, especially going into a bigger and better conference in the Mountain West this season.
Yeah, and it's going to be tough for them, especially getting adjusted to the conference. And when you switch conferences, it can be difficult because you have to get acclimated to it all. Just like with new teams, you have to get acclimated to new conferences, the style of play, how calls are being made, and you have to be able to adapt to that quickly. And obviously in this new landscape of the NCAA, you either sink or swim if you don't adapt quickly.
I'll tell you where the Mountain West will help them. It's the exposure piece, right? Growing university profile. When you look at the non-conference compared to what it's been, it's night and day. He told us about that. It's a school, when you don't have football, basketball is the premier sport. They care about basketball there. The students, the university is really excited to help put that out there and increase the general profile of the university. This matchup tonight will help that cause, but a tall task to build this program or rebuild it because there's all sorts of turnover, John.
Absolutely. It's very difficult to kind of start from scratch, as this Grand Canyon team has done, finding the new pieces that fit their culture. One thing that Coach Gandy talked about was the character piece. Obviously, he's got to recruit good players, but he's got to recruit good people that fit his system and what he's trying to do to move forward in this conference that they're transitioning to.
And he said that's the non-negotiable, that character piece, because basketball, it's too long of a season to have people with poor character in your locker room.
Yeah, you don't want to be around somebody for 365 days with a bad attitude. That's just not fun to coach.
Or even for a broadcast, John. That's why I like you so much.
Hey,
you have great character.
You are my guy.
It's great to be back with you for this season opener. Spinning inside, Jeffries can't get the bounce. And the rebound is tapped to Raven Johnson. She'll look to push. Johnson up ahead, finds O'Coat. Johnson for three. Back iron, rebound for Lamendola. Lopes looking for their first points. Lamendola makes her move, fires a three. In and out. Another rebound for Raven Johnson. Open is Tessa Johnson.
As you saw there, the whole crowd held their breath for Tessa Johnson because they know how efficient shooter she is from the perimeter.
Defense locked down early on for the Gamecocks. 10 seconds for man. Gets around O'Coat, finds Carson inside. Good-looking bucket for Grand Canyon.
Yeah. Great patience for Grand Canyon, not settling and not allowing that South Carolina pressure to dictate what they wanted to do offensively.
Faith Carson saw her come off the bench. She was the first sub for Grand Canyon. Brings size 6'4" from Buchanan, Michigan. Speaking of size, here's Okote. Soft touch.
That's one thing Okote's going to bring to the table. When you see defenses start to wall up right around that SEC line, you have to have post players that can bring them out of that area to be able to knock down that shot.
How about that move from Anissa Jeffries, senior forward, but in her first year playing college basketball, coming from Mexico, John.
Yeah, that's because she's a pro. She was a pro before she got to Grand Canyon. She really knows how to score the ball and is fearless out there on the floor.
Johnson directing traffic. In the corner, it's Johnson.
And right now, you can definitely see that the scout report is to play Raven Johnson with space so that you can send more bodies down there in that paint to protect the basket from South Carolina's interior. But Raven Johnson is making them pay, obviously, on both ends of the floor.
Latson gets fouled, and she'll head to the line. We'll take another look. Johnson having the hot hand early.
Yeah,
Two made threes, John.
Raven Johnson, Tessa doing a really good job of getting into the middle, drawing Raven Johnson's man over, and then kicking it out to her for the 3 ball.
It was Chloe Mann who picked up the foul, so your player to watch, John, has to take a seat with 2 fouls. Ta'Niya Latson, an 82% free throw shooter a season ago, when she led the nation in scoring, 25.2 per game. She has double-digit points, John, in 86 of her 93 career games. Can really fill it up.
You see why, though, right? I mean, it's not just filling it up. It is her ability to just find those pockets in defenses and being as efficient as possible when it comes to her scoring the ball.
Jeffries. Shot off the mark. She'll have another opportunity here. Grad guard from North Omaha, Nebraska, Malaysia Douglas. She'll fire away. Got it.
Yeah, Malaysia Douglas, one of those few veterans on this Grand Canyon team, bringing her leadership to the table and also just showing her fearlessness.
Just 2 returning players for Grand Canyon. Edwards.
That's one thing I think that Joyce Edwards has worked on this season. Obviously, last season, she grew with every game, but showing that ability to knock down that mid-range jumper, like we talked about before, spreading out that Grand Canyon's defense, bringing them out so that you now have the ability to get those dump ins and those inside passes. And right there, she just takes advantage of that little bit of space that she's given and makes a tough jumper.
South Carolina's leading scorer as a freshman, 12.7 per game. Have to carry the load a little more this season, John, as a sophomore. Lost possession. Amendola the other way. Unable to connect inside with Ayodele. 3rd turnover for Grand Canyon.
And that's one thing Grand Canyon's going to have to keep an eye on, is taking care of the ball. You do not want to get South Carolina in an open floor situation.
Oh, the high arcing 3 goes for Tessa Johnson.
Yeah, Tessa Johnson showing her range, her ability to knock down that 3, trying to do whatever they can to bring Grand Canyon outside the 3-point line. If you look at them, majority of their players are inside the 3-point line in the half court.
Latson running the floor. Everyone in the starting lineup has scored for South Carolina. They lead 21-7. Latson has 8 of those 21 points. foul
we
called
see
on
here.
Griffiths. Sorry, John.
South Carolina's defense leading to offense yet again. One thing we noticed with South Carolina is their active hands. Right there, it wasn't a clean steal, it was a deflection. But because of their active hands, they're giving themselves the ability to shoot the gaps and get themselves open floor lanes.
They forced 5 turnovers as well. Looking to build on a 14-point lead. Edwards.
And right now you are seeing Grand Canyon. We talked about 5 players inside the three-point line to protect the paint. They are having and playing defense with that we can live with it mentality. We want to see you make enough of those shots to bring us out. And so right now, South Carolina is going to have to continue to prove that they can make that shot on a consistent clip.
Here's McKeer running the floor. Finds Edwards. She goes down, no call. And the Lopes the other way. Lamondola. She'll pick up her second foul. Lamondola with 2, Griffiths with 2, Mann with 2 already for Coach Gandy's crew.
Yeah, some of the primary pieces for Grand Canyon, as far as some of their force for scoring the ball, already in foul trouble. And you're going to see this more and more as you watch South Carolina play. A lot of good players being put under duress because of their pressure on the ball, as well as their pressure on the paint. Going to draw a lot of fouls.
Code at the line, 63% free throw shooter last season at Mississippi State. She did lead the SEC in field goal percentage. It's 4th in the nation, that category. 65%. You're going to want to get it to her often inside, John.
Yeah, and we are seeing Grand Canyon's defensive scheme try to keep her from getting those touches. So when she catches the ball, she's got 2 or 3 black jerseys around her on the catch.
Grand Canyon's going to struggle on offense so far. They have 6 turnovers. It's led to 10 Gamecocks points. Douglas swings it. Valenti Paya. And another turnover for Grand Canyon, their 7th.
And right there, you definitely can see how much pressure South Carolina is putting on Grand Canyon, really making it difficult for them to get themselves going in their offensive sets. And South Carolina, when we talk about it, this is the first game of the season. There isn't any film to study or anything that they can go off of regarding this Grand Canyon group, because this is a brand new team. But because they're holding steadfast to their principles, they're able to create chaos on the defensive end.
McKeer. Now Edwards. Top of the arc. It's short. Coming up with the rebound, Valenti Paya. And talking about scouting Grand Canyon, John, Coach Daly said we know Winston will play some type of gap defense offensively. I don't know what he'll do. Has a lot of 3-point shooters on this team, so I'm sure they'll get a lot of 3 balls up. They do have some transfers that have played at a high level. The important thing to know is that he can really coach and have his team prepared for this matchup. Try to come out and look good and compete with South Carolina. 3 seconds. And an air ball in the hands of Raven Johnson. Her 4th rebound. The hot start continues for the Gamecocks.
Yeah, this is the confidence that South Carolina needed, really, to show their ability to spread the floor. Right now, it's kind of like going against a sunken in zone against Grand Canyon, because they are sinking so deep because of their fear of the paint presence of South Carolina. McKeer gets a wide open 3 in that regard.
Freshman guard from Thunder Bay, Ontario, got McKeer her first collegiate points on a 3-ball.
Yeah, definitely one of those players that are silky smooth, really can score the ball at a high clip. Just watching her in her high school days, she can do a little bit of everything. Reminds me of a Kevin Durant, the way she's so smooth with the ball.
Man, no good. It's been a struggle offensively so far for Grand Canyon. Now 3 of 10 from the field, 1 for 6 from behind the arc. McDowell, now Johnson. Kylie McDowell, she'll swing it to McKeer. Another 3. Off the mark, fight for the rebound. And a whistle. Players on the floor for both teams. Well, the foul's going to go against Grand Canyon. And Favor Ayadeli, the grad forward from Spain. She picks up her first. Isla McDowell will head to the line. Freshman guard from Cypress, Texas. Averaged 19.2 points per game last season at Cypress Springs High School. Gets her first collegiate point from the line. Swiss Army knife type player, John, 3-level scorer. She can guard every position, bring size and athleticism to South Carolina.
Yeah, she's a big guard with a lot of tools in her toolbox. She can slash, like you said, can guard every position, so it makes her a matchup nightmare and applies the type of pressure that is right up Coach Staley's alley.
Mann, who's back in with 2 fouls. She's denied the block from McKeer. DeLope swing it around. Jeffries on the drive. And 1. They needed that. Anissa Jeffries converts.
Yeah, Anissa Jeffries, we talk about it. Fearless. Has seen a little bit of everything due to her experience. But right there, just taking a strong drive towards the basket, absorbing that contact, and getting to the free throw line.
Mentioned she's a senior. Oh, it's her first season in college basketball. She played for the Mexican national team. Mexico finished 7th FIBA Women's AmeriCup this past summer. USA, of course, was first. Joyce Edwards on Team USA. Beat Brazil in the final. That one a little too tall for McDowell. It's a turnover for the Gamecocks. Don Staley not pleased.
Yeah, and that was something we talked to Coach Staley about before the game, which was just cleaning up some of those controllable turnovers that you know that you've practiced and repped, just not locked in at that moment. And you know, when we talk about the exhibition against North Carolina, things got a little sloppy in that 4th quarter where they took their foot slightly off the gas, and that is when her coaching hats come on even heavier, because she wants to make sure that they are always locked in.
The 3-pointer won't go for Mann. South Carolina ends the quarter on a 15-3 run. They shoot 62.5%. They lead 29-10.
Do you enjoy women's and Olympic sports? The SCORE Act.
Especially when you spent as much time as those two did during the tenure that he was there.
And what a pedigree he has. Look at who he's worked for. I asked him about learning Tina Langley at Rice, Kara Lawson at Duke, and Dawn Staley, of course, at South Carolina. He said, I'll start with Tina, working for her at Rice, saw how many hats she had to wear as head coach at the mid-major level. Won't forget that. She did it all. Everything mattered from marking all the way up. At Duke with Kara, he said, I watched her attention to detail. That standard she held was remarkable. Didn't matter if talent-wise they couldn't get to it. Her standard was a standard, and she never moved off of that. No secret why they've had so much success. And he said, Dawn is the most consistent leader I've ever been around. Good day, bad day, up 20, down 20. 1 camera in her face, 1,000 cameras in her face. She doesn't change. Talks to her players the same way she'll talk to a Chick-fil-A worker in drive-through. You wonder how you fill an 18,000-seat arena. So many schools are going smaller to get that feel. See the way she immersed herself in the community. She's someone who just moves the needle. Learning from 3 legends, John.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And a lot of folks don't know this, but he went to school for pre-med and ended up being on the scout team for Maryland under Coach Brenda Freeze, and that's where he found his love for it. And so he has been exposed to a lot of high-tier coaches that have set him up for the situation that he is in now.
He's going up against one of his mentors tonight. Johnson now has 8 points for South Carolina. Jeffries working on Edwards. Instead, it's Mann. There's your player to watch.
Yeah, Chloe Mann finally got a little bit of daylight. She hasn't had much against South Carolina, and that was still a tough shot. I'd say that Raven Johnson did everything she was supposed to do. She stunned it down and then closed out on Chloe Mann. Chloe Mann just made her pay with that small amount of space.
Another 3 for Raven Johnson. Now 3 for 4 from behind the arc. All defensive team last season. Raven Johnson picks up the steal here.
Yeah, and we're seeing Raven Johnson do what she does best. Not only is she a player that sets the defensive tone for her team, but also showing her ability to spread the floor, bring out that defense, and make it even easier for South Carolina to do what they do best, which is dominate the interior.
Good in transition as well. Edwards can't get the bounce. Carson rips away the rebound. And a foul will be called on South Carolina and Joyce Edwards. She picks up her second. Here's what Raven Johnson has done so far. 11 points, 4 for 5 from the field, a couple of assists, a couple of steals, rebounds as well. Happy that she came back. Don Staley said Raven's a winner. She's a winner before she got to South Carolina. She continued her legacy of winning. Anytime you get a 5th-year winner back into your program, does a great job running the basketball team. They're set up for success. Lamendola over Latson. Can't hit. Rebound ripped down by Tessa Johnson. Johnson on the move. Pulls up and hits.
We see right there, Tessa Johnson is not just a 3-point shooter. She has an infinite bag out there. Somebody that not only can knock down the 3, but also in the open floor, being able to get that pretty stop and pop, that change of pace is something that I'd love to see more from her.
She's got 5 points. Raven Johnson picks up the foul. And Tessa, you mentioned the shooting, John. She's South Carolina's top shooter, led the Gamecocks in 3-point percentage last season. Expect her point per game totals to go up this season. They're going to need her offense a little more to fill some of the void left by a player like Chloe Kidd's. Different position, but you're going to have to replace those points.
Absolutely. And you talk about Tessa Johnson. I mean, right now she's got the nickname of Tournament Tessa because she comes alive during the back end of the season. But what Coach Staley wants out of her is to be everyday Tessa, the Tessa that they know that she is capable of being on a consistent clip. And so as she continues to grow into this new role, we will see her continually get better and better at being a prolific scorer and a consistent one.
Daniel will stay with South Carolina. I'll check that. Grand Canyon basketball as we take another look. Say it's off the Gamecocks. (36-13) lead for South Carolina with 7 minutes to go in the first half. Lamendola, Indiana transfer, 60 games, 2 seasons there. Now it's Douglas. Almost a turnover. And that goes for Sifa Ineza. Redshirt junior guard from Rwanda. She's a transfer from Middle Tennessee State, trying to get it inside to a Dale Tack.
And that was a good idea from Latson. But Dale Tech doing her best to establish that positioning. And we talked about it before. As long as South Carolina continues to show their ability to spread the floor, those paint passes will continue to be more accessible for South Carolina.
Foul will be called on Mariam Dowda. She picks up her first. 11 on the roster for South Carolina, John, but only 10 healthy. All 10 have played so far.
Yeah, and that's the thing about having 10 or 11 on the roster. It gives Don Staley the opportunity to feel and get chemistry with these players so that they can get acclimated to each other. Because as we know, I mean, a team that consistently has McDonald's All-Americans every year, there's enough talent to take you as far as you want. And so now it's going to come down to that camaraderie, that synergy between the teams, between the players. And she has the ability to do that with a shortened roster.
With the shortened roster, if you are a bench player, you know you're going to play. There's no disgruntled personalities at practice. You're not sitting behind 2 or 3 players at your position.
No,
you're the primary backup at your position.
It truly defines the next man up mentality.
And before the shot, a whistle that goes against South Carolina spoils the made 3 from Johnson. Foul on Latson.
Yeah, a little bit of movement there. I don't know if Latson meant to hit her. It seemed like a rub action where she was trying to get to the corner.
Latson picks up her first. Tessa Johnson with 5 points. She had double-digit points 16 times last season, including 10 points in the national championship game against UConn. John, she likes national championship games. 19 in the 2024 game against Iowa as a freshman. They're going to review this play. So the stoppage here with 6:06 to go in the second quarter. 20-point lead as it stands for South Carolina. John, I don't know if you know what they're looking for, but we'll take a look at the replay.
The only thing I think that they could be looking for is to see if the shot went off before the contact. And we're about to get some clarity here from.
We're going to take a break from inside CLA. South Carolina leads Grand Canyon 36-16.
What powers her? Her team.
Her hand after the contact, the shot will not count. And I asked the official, I asked Tiffany Bird if it depended on when the whistle was blown. And she said it would be once the contact was made or once the actual foul was made.
Well, it was originally waved off. Now they're going to count the three-point make. Some newcomers for South Carolina this season. Impact transfers. Ta'Niya Latson, who led the nation in scoring last season, coming over from Florida State. Ocote, your new big starting center, coming over from Mississippi State, put up some big numbers last season with the Bulldogs. And then a couple of freshmen highly rated. We've seen them both already tonight.
After review, the three-point basket scores for South Carolina. Grand Canyon gets the ball set out.
So the 3 will count. 39-16 lead for South Carolina, Grand Canyon basketball.
And yeah, just so we know, I think that there was contact made before the shot went off, but it was about when the illegal contact was made before the shot went off. And so the illegal contact was not made until after the shot.
Count it for Chloe Mann. She'll head to the line looking for a 4-point play. Foul on Okote, her first.
And you'll see Grand Canyon try to run sets to get Okote outside of the 3-point line. And she actually does a good job of moving her feet on the perimeter, but you will see smaller guards try to go at her, get her in foul trouble so they can get her out of the game. Kind of like what happened against UNC, where they wanted to get her out of the game as quickly as possible because of how much of a dominating force she is in the interior.
7 fouls this quarter now for South Carolina. Grand Canyon, none. A ton of fouls in the first quarter. Johnson, good feed to Okote.
That's a beautiful play. Nice little 2-man game between Johnson and Okote. Johnson has the opportunity to either pull up for the mid-range jumper, which we talked about before. We're going to see more of that. Or if 2 people go with her, she's going to get it to Okote for the roll.
Man feeds Lamondola. Under 10. Man in the corner. Shot no good. A rebound for Tessa Johnson.
That's great ball movement for Grand Canyon.
McKeer, some contact. Whistle, in and out. She'll head to the line. Foul on Issa Jeffries, her first.
And this is a tough guard right here, because if you do not come out on Tessa Johnson, she knocks down that shot. But it also gives Okote the lane to be able to rim run as quickly as possible with limited help from the corners, where all she has is an easy layup from that play.
Kier hits the first. McDonald's All-American, number 6 recruit in the class of 2025. Mount Verde Academy in Florida. She's a Ontario native. It's been her final year of high school in the Sunshine State. 23-point lead for the Gamecocks. Ineza was deflected by Okote. Almost a steal. Instead, it's Latson inside to Okote. She converts.
And there's nothing you can do when Okote catches it that deep in the paint. Absolutely nothing. No positioning or anything of that nature.
She has 7 points. She had double-digit points 22 times last season for Mississippi State. It was 6'6", presence in the paint. Dawn Staley really unhappy with this call.
I understand it. It seemed like Nora Mujas lost her footing there.
Call it on Okote. She picks up her second. Nora Mu, a freshman forward from Wheaton, Illinois, out of Pinnacle High School in Arizona. She was a 6A All-State first-team member last year. Averaged 17 points a game, 12.5 rebounds. From Wheaton, Illinois. Her parents both played collegiately at Wheaton College. Her father played basketball, her mother played soccer.
Yeah, as a freshman, it's good that she's getting this type of playing time this early in the season. Provides great length at that 4 position. I mean, and then she will bring rim finishing to the table as well as a rebounding upside.
14 newcomers, of course, a new coaching staff. These early games, John, opportunities for Coach Gandy to figure out his roster, find roles for players. Open, it's Latson. 11 points for Ta'Niya Latson.
That was a great find from Raven Johnson. doing a fantastic job of recognizing that they were trying to front the post, which means there is nobody on that weak side. And Latson makes him pay.
A couple of transfers doing big things already tonight. That was Okote. She's got 7 points. Latson has 11. Coach Staley loves Ta'Niya Latson's maturity, her practice habits, says she's really coachable, someone who wants to win and get better, improve her positioning for being a pro, probably why she came to South Carolina. She said, oh, do we need her to do some of the things she did at Florida State when she led the nation in scoring? Absolutely, but can we help her see some other things by having a more seasoned basketball team around her when it comes to tournament play and the amount of games in the postseason? That will definitely help her, and she's someone who will definitely help us.
Yeah, one thing that you want to have is longevity, and being able to defend at the next level is key. And one thing Don Staley does a fantastic job with, especially at her guard play, is how to defend the perimeter and become A1 class defenders.
Mann was bumped. Foul will go against McKeer. She picks up her first. So Chloe Mann will head to the line. Preseason all Mountain West. Preseason Mountain West newcomer of the year. John already told us earlier in this one she's a transfer from Cincinnati. She's the Bearcats' 4th leading scorer last season. 9 games with double-digit points. Comes from a strong basketball family. Both her parents played collegiately at Kansas State. And though she got that award, John, Coach Gang said, I don't really love preseason awards or honors because it's based on what people are reading. And the last time I checked, we don't read basketball, we play basketball. Obviously grateful she was selected.
Yeah, I look at preseason accolades based off of previous year statistics. Anything could have happened over the summer, but it's all projections. It's all based off of what they saw last year. But what he wants Chloe Mann to do is to now establish herself and prove it every single game to be able to actually accept that honor.
Played both the 1 and the 2 at Cincinnati. This will go against the Gamecocks. Got McKeer, picks up her second. .5 lead for South Carolina. Douglas for 3. Got it.
And that's one thing you gotta like about Elijah Douglas is she has never sped up. She has played calm and steady this entire game.
The floater won't go for McKeer. Another whistle against South Carolina. McKeer picks up her 3rd.
Yeah, and see here, Elijah Douglas with the ghost screen, recognizing that Tack was going to be late to come out on her. And here she draws the charge, getting herself set early so that she then could get that charge. Now, McKeer could have recognized the corner 3 action there. Those are those situations where you get deep in the post and know that you did your job.
Douglas can't hit amongst the trees, but another possession here for Grand Canyon. Ineza working against Raven Johnson. Under 10. Get some space. Off the mark on the 3. 5th rebound for Raven Johnson. Tessa Johnson from behind the arc.
I like that Raven to Tessa connection. Raven recognizing that Tessa Johnson, her hands haven't been touched with that ball in a while. Made sure she got her the ball where she liked it.
The 3rd South Carolina player with 11 points so far. Lamendola can't answer. Johnson stops and hits.
Beautiful footwork great hesitation and change of pace, getting to the middle of the floor and raising up on her defender.
She has 13 points to lead all scorers, 10 in the second quarter. Man, she's done it again.
I told you she can make shots, man. She knows how to do that and wanted this opportunity, wanted this role to be one of the go-to players for Grand Canyon. Was able to get just a little bit of space. I'm curious about that contact.
Did she get her foot stepped on?
That's
it was
what I'm
called
curious
on Raven
about.
Johnson. Coach Staley furious.
Yeah, you would think that could be landing space. That sometimes can be a judgment call, especially if you can't really see under the feet. It's a lot going on down there.
"13 points for Man, leading the way for Grand Canyon. Latson won't go, rebounds and one. Adele Tack.
And that's one thing Adele Tack brings to the table is energy. South Carolina, talk about Latson here drawing the secondary defender. Griffin was not able to box out in time, and Tack takes full advantage of being in the right place at the right time to give herself the ability to get to that free throw line for an and one.
Tack, a redshirt sophomore from Grand Prairie, Texas. 63% free throw shooter a season ago. Can't make good on the three-point play. How about Johnson and Johnson for South Carolina? They have 22 points, 22 of the 55, combined 8 of 10 from the floor.
Yeah, they have been a fantastic tandem in that backcourt, really just finding each other, but also just taking advantage of what the defense has given them. Right now, we have seen that Grand Canyon has given them a lot of space, especially Raven Johnson, and right now she's proven them wrong by spreading the floor and being consistent from that three-point line. Tessa, Grand Canyon acknowledges that she is one of the primary shooters on that team, so they've given her a shorter leash on that perimeter.
Dow looking for Johnson. She's been hot, kicks it out. Raven Johnson. Off the mark, flying in for the offensive rebound and the putback. It's Isla McDowell.
Yeah, Isla McDowell, we talk about it, the Swiss Army knife, can do a little bit of everything offensively and defensively, as well as being a crashing guard that likes to rebound the ball.
McDowell for three. Can't hit, rebound tracked down by Ineza. Under a minute to go in the first half. 26-point lead for the Gamecocks. Ineza working on Johnson. He's deflected out of bounds. Or was it? It's Gamecocks basketball. Thought maybe Raven Johnson touched that, but I guess not, John.
Yeah, she went for it. She would take the deflection over anything. I mean, at this point, when you practice and you train to get deflections, even if it isn't the right one, you still want to see if you can get a hand on the ball.
Foul will be called on Alasia Douglas, just her first. She got caught trying to deny Latson. Under 8-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. McDaniel, a nice move. Hits from behind the arc.
South Carolina taking advantage of the space given to them from Grand Canyon, making them pay.
Gamecocks 9 of 16 from 3 in this first half. Man goes down. Last opportunity for Ta'Niya. And that's how the half will end. Impressive performance from South Carolina, just about doubling up Grand Canyon, John, 60-31.
Yeah, and what South Carolina is getting used to and what they know from history is teams are going to throw different schemes at them. Grand Canyon tried to throw the scheme of protecting the paint, and South Carolina has made them pay by shooting the three at a high clip and spreading that defense out. And so Grand Canyon is going to have to make some adjustments at the half.
And welcome back to Columbia. It's halftime inside Colonial Life Arena. John, what does Grand Canyon need to do to get back into this one?
Well, they have to make the defensive adjustment. Obviously, they wanted to protect the bank because you see the players that South Carolina has in the interior, Joyce Edwards, and you have Medina, Colt, those types of players you have to scout for. And now that you have seen that South Carolina has shown their ability to not only impact the paint, but spread the floor from the perimeter, you have to make the adjustment towards the perimeter and play them more honest instead of just packing it in. And so I would see the Grand Canyon make those adjustments by not only trying to protect the paint, but being cognizant of what's going on out there on the perimeter.
We'll see if they can do that in the second half. Before they get that opportunity, let's take a look at some highlights from the first half. Bright spot for the Lopes has been man. Team high 13 points in that total, John. 2 4-point plays.
She's definitely stepped up to the challenge, got to the free throw line. Carolina wasn't shooting the ball at that type of clip that we're seeing right now. But because they are, you have to adapt and make the adjustment and see if you can make South Carolina do something else. See if their consistency in the paint is as good as their consistency from the perimeter.
And it's interesting because when we had our call with Coach Gandy, you asked him about combating South Carolina's front court. He said, oh, so that's one of their great strengths. You can't take it away, but if you can give it some resistance, you know, I think you can make it difficult for them. But it's been the backcourt that's given Grand Canyon the most problems today.
Yeah, and I assume that they're going off of what happened against South Carolina, against North Carolina, where North Carolina showed that they could not really combat against South Carolina in the paint when it came to rebounding. They had a ton of defensive and offensive rebounds against North Carolina. And so when you see that as a coach that's scouting, you have to find a way to make sure that doesn't happen again. And part of that is making sure that you just put a lot of bodies in the paint to be able to go against their two players in the front court.
Early in the third quarter, Ta'Niya Latson at the line. Makes the second. Naismith semifinalist last season. She's on the watch list this year. Fully man. Here's Lamendola. The floater is good.
Yeah, Lamendola, who is also looked at as one of those players that could be an offensive impact player because of her ability to shoot the ball, because of her ability to be a matchup nightmare for post players, because she is 6'1". You have to find a way to get her involved more offensively.
She won't be able to be involved now because she picks up her fourth foul.
Coach Gandy is pleading his case, saying that Lamendola was there early, vertical. What else could she have done?
Meanwhile, it's Latson back to the line. 3 for 5 from the charity stripe tonight. Former ACC Rookie of the Year. In her senior season with South Carolina. Inez on the run. She'll pull it back. This is Jeffries, guarded by Edwards. Gets help from man. Under 10, Ineza connects.
You see that Grand Canyon is trying to bring out the post players of South Carolina and get isolated matchups where they can try to get at least some daylight, because they are struggling to get that against the guards of South Carolina. They're really closing up that space.
Oko can't hit baseline. Rebound for Ineza. She's in a hurry. Ineza from Rwanda. Redshirt at Middle Tennessee last season. Griffiths in the corner. Passes on the three. Jeffries. High bounce. Pulled down by Johnson. Her 6th board. Looking inside to Edwards.
Raven Johnson being the point guard, the floor general, being able to see once she pushed the ball that Joyce Edwards had herself a mismatch there.
5 assists to go along with those 6 rebounds. Complete game so far from Raven Johnson. Jeffries. Instead, it's Griffiths. Another rebound for Raven Johnson. Edwards slices her way inside. Can't finish.
That's a good move from Joyce Edwards as she continues to get those reps. We talked about the role change with Chloe Kitts being out this season. She's going to get more and more reps to be able to perfect that.
Douglas against Johnson. Oh, high off the glass. It goes in.
Malaysia Douglas has been fearless in today's game.
A lot of height to Tessa Johnson. Whistle that will go against Grand Canyon. Let's take a look at this nice feed from Raven Johnson as she found Joyce Edwards for an easy 2, John.
Yeah, and you'll see they'll try to get duck-in actions there. But Malaysia Douglas giving a nice little hesitation, using her body against a taller Tessa Johnson and her length to be able to get that ball and kiss it off the glass for a layup.
Gets up 6 inches for Tessa Johnson. There's Tessa inside for 2.
As you see, Tessa Johnson using her size to her advantage as well. Being able to shoot right over Malaysia Douglas.
She's a team high 15 points. Zuniga makes her move. Now it's Carson. Rebound tracked down by Edwards. Johnson passed on the 3, pulls up from the foul line. Edwards rips away the rebound and feeds Oko.
That's one thing South Carolina did a great job of in that last possession, is not giving up on the play, fighting for the loose ball, giving themselves an opportunity to score from it.
Timeout on the floor, 6:09 left to go in the third. South Carolina leads Grand Canyon 69-38.
What powers her? Her team, her family, her fans, her food. At Sprouts, we're on a mission to power women on and off the field. We nourish strength. We feed ambition. We fuel women's health on all journeys, whether she's bringing home a win or winning at dinner. Sprouts is powering greatness.
Prepping for the school year can get a little messy, but it goes a long way in keeping things on the rails. Choo-choo! Whether you're planning for a successful year or saving for your child's future, preparation makes all the difference, which is where Met comes in. With Met, you don't have to worry about college tuition.
That 2024 that is wide open. And so you know that South Carolina, Coach Don Staley, they have a goal. And we talk about it before, you know, they run it back every year. And I'll also say this, when I looked at the faces of them receiving their rings, they were grateful, but they were like, that's not enough. And they have an idea of what they want in their future. And so you can see Don Staley, even though they're up a large margin, she is still coaching them hard because she wants to make sure that the intangibles are executed every single possession for their best game, that hopefully national championship game.
Okote with the rebound for the Gamecocks. Pass just out of the reach of Raven Johnson. It's a turnover. John, before the game, Ta'Niya, you noticed a little bit of a pattern, those national championship banners.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Every time they lose, they come back and win one. And they had an I've got to get my lick back mentality. We've got to run that back. And so it almost fuels them. It almost motivates them to a different level. Not saying that they weren't motivated the years before, but you can see like they come with a renewed energy to themselves where they want to make sure that they prove the naysayers wrong.
5 straight Final Fours for this group. National runner-up to UConn last season. Latson. She's denied. Faith Carson with the block. Jeffries. Stolen by South Carolina. Johnson to Latson. Those two know each other very well, John.
They do. Got a lot of history playing on the same AAU team, and you can see the connection right there.
Timeout from inside CLA. South Carolina leads Grand Canyon 71-38.
What power?
Pipeline. 9 Gamecocks were on opening day rosters in WNBA this season. The 3rd most represented team behind UConn and Notre Dame. But South Carolina's 6 additions in the last 5 years, and the most of any program since her first Gamecock was drafted in 2015. 18 of Dawn Staley's players have heard their name called on draft night, the 2nd most of any program. And NCAA best 12 draft picks since 2020. John, 3 WNBA Rookies of the Year: Alicia Gray, Asia Wilson, and Aaliyah Boston.
Yeah, nothing sets you up for success after college if you want to play in the league better than this South Carolina team. The methods they teach, they make sure that your game transitions to the next level. And so you see why they have Ta'Niya Latson now. You see why they've had so much success with their players in the past. I mean, they've got an MVP as we speak. And so you know every year they're going to provide some type of product that can be impactful in the WNBA.
Easy recruiting pitch as well for South Carolina. As every high school player dreams of playing in the WNBA.
Absolutely. So you got to tip your hat off to Coach Staley with how she develops, how she gets her teams better. It's not about just the individual things. It is about making sure that you are collectively a player that can not only make it to the league, but last in the league.
Latson drives baseline, off the glass and in. 18 points for Ta'Niya Latson. Foul called here. We'll take another look on that last bucket by Latson. John, she led the nation in scoring at FSU. Who says she can't do it at South Carolina?
Right. I mean, the way she plays, it's translatable on any team. It's just tough to stop, and that was just great ball movement there. But it's like we got a collision with Maddie McDaniel, caught a shoulder to that collarbone area.
Check on McDaniel. Foul was called on Faith Carson, her first. Daniel, her sophomore season, 30 games last year, 10 of those in the SEC. Hopefully she's okay. We'll step aside. South Carolina leads Grand Canyon 73-38. Big lead for the Gamecocks. Back to action, under 4 to go in the third quarter. Big lead for the Gamecocks over Grand Canyon. Edwards gets it inside. Ocote. She draws contact.
That's one of the few clean touches that we've seen Ocote get in the paint area. We talked about Grand Canyon having to make the adjustment there. She was able to catch it and establish herself in the post, get one dribble, get to her spot, and get to the free throw line.
Coach Gandy told us they have some size, some forwards. Of course, South Carolina comes in waves, right? Have the guard play to complement the size inside. So our job is just to make them work for everything. Time making Ocote get it from the free throw line.
Yeah, I mean, they have a ton of positional depth in the front court area that most teams do not have or can't dream to have. You've got a Joyce Edwards and a Adina Ocote, and then you've got Dowda, Tack, all over 6'3". You don't usually see that in Division I collegiate rosters.
Johnson an open look. A little frustrated with herself.
I've heard that she is her biggest critic.
A whistle that will go against Ocote and the Gamecocks. She picks up her third. The tallest player on the floor fouled the smallest. So Ocote got Malaysia Douglas. Douglas going 5'6", graduate guard from Nebraska, North Omaha. 30 games last year for Grand Canyon. Just one start, averaged just under 15 minutes per game, but gave them quality play off the bench. She'll try to do the same this season for a new head coach.
Yeah, we talked about just that poise she brings to the table. She was a part of that championship team, Grand Canyon, last year. Tenacious defender, smart, high IQ guard.
Ocote draws contact again. Basket's waved off.
See it in that last play. South Carolina was hoping for that continuation play. She absorbed the contact but took that extra step, which is why the officials did not count it as a and-one opportunity.
Ocote makes the first. Fortunate for South Carolina that Chloe Kitts is out for the season with a torn ACL, had surgery in October. Of course, with Ashlyn Watkins not playing as well, John, that's a combined 17 points and 14 rebounds that need to be replaced this season.
Yeah, we talked about what Don Staley had said, that obviously Chloe is not a player that can be replaced, but she has confidence in her team, her roster, that they will be able to step up to the challenge. We talked about enough positional talent to be able to go far, no matter who's out there on the floor.
An open look for Johnson. Douglas gets the rebound for Grand Canyon. She's on the move. Douglas gets inside, went down. Deflected out of play by South Carolina. She was hoping for a foul call.
Well, when you're that small, that fast, and you're in the trees and the trenches like she was, your best bet is to hope for one. Either you're gonna get fouled or you're gonna get blocked.
Tessa Johnson deflecting the pass. Anadola recovers. Douglas with space. Malaysia Douglas, so well traveled, a couple years at the JUCO level. First team All-American, a year at Clemson, a year at Oklahoma State. And like she's thriving at Grand Canyon right now, John.
Yeah, it's all about fit, and she's been able to find that at Grand Canyon. Right here, you see it. used a couple of screens, was able to get the ISO as she wanted, be able to bring out a big where she could get the space she needed for her shot.
She has a team high 14 points now. One of their starters, Juliana Lamandola, transfer from Indiana, has now fouled out. He's one of the players that Coach Gandy talked to us the most about, John. Said she and Chloe Mann were the ones that sort of separated themselves through the summer, through the preseason, as two players they're going to depend on. So big loss here in game one.
Yeah, but good lessons. Obviously, Coach Gandy uses these types of games as precursors to their development, trying to get themselves prepared for their best version of competition in their tournament play, in their conference play.
Carly Johnson, now Jeffries.
It's a pro move right there.
A pro player.
Yeah, she's got it, man. Beautiful move, great body control, great strength.
Next steal here for Grand Canyon. What a recovery from Joyce Edwards. She denies Valenti Paella. We'll take another look.
And that's one thing South Carolina does not do, is they do not give up on the play there. You see Joyce Edwards being smart. Instead of trying to go through her body, went to the other side and was able to get that block.
Third block for the Gamecocks. Grand Canyon has 3 as well. Jeffries trying to get around Johnson with the reverse. She's got 9. Versatile forward. Coach told her she could play 1 through 4. Edwards versatile as well. Had a travel call that will go against South Carolina. Here's that last bucket from Jeffries.
And you see Jeffries getting to her back, very shifty, can post up, but also can get to the basket.
A little bit of a rut of late from South Carolina. Still lead by 30. 10 seconds for Grand Canyon. They swing it around. Rebound for Dowda. Johnson up ahead to Edwards. She goes down. A foul call against Grand Canyon. It's going to go against Alasia Douglas. She picks up her second.
You got to appreciate Alasia Douglas going in there against a 6'3" Joyce Edwards and trying to stop her from making that shot with all her momentum coming towards her. It means you're a dedicated basketball player to stand in front of the train and the train tracks.
Edwards 1 for 2 from the line so far. Now 2 for 3. What a freshman season. All SEC first team, all freshman team, all NCAA tournament team, all American honorable mention. Had 27 games last season with double-digit points. 5 games with 20 plus. For her to be that player and then some this year, John.
Yeah, absolutely. And she's got a lot on her shoulders for this upcoming season, having to step into more of an active role for the Gamecocks.
The heave from Jeffries won't go. And we're through 3. Fourth quarter coming up. When we come back, South Carolina leads Grand Canyon 79-47.
What powers her? Her team, her family.
Far in the season opener this season, she's one of 3 Gamecocks on the Naismith Award watch list. 3 of the 50 that were named to that list. All 3 have had a great night. Raven Johnson's on triple-double watch. She has 11 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists. And Ta'Niya Latson leading all scorers with 18 points, John.
Yeah, I mean, it's just pick your poison. Whoever you want can take over a game at a given point. And that is what's special about this team and why they are revered as the #2 team in the nation and are planning to go far. So they just have a ton of talent. And I think Don Staley does a fantastic job of how to utilize their strengths to the best of the team's ability.
Yeah, 10 healthy players, but all 10 can kill you.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like I said, it's however you want it. If you try to take away the perimeter, they can take you in the post. If you try to take away the post, they've shown their ability to impact the perimeter by knocking down threes. They're also a team that puts a ton of pressure on you. The defensive end creates a lot of turnovers. They're elite in the open floor. How do you want it?
And they can suffocate you defensively.
That's a Tupac song.
Whistle here that goes against South Carolina, and Latson, she picks up her second.
Yeah, Latson that's her second one on those rub actions that she's tried to do, where whether or not it's inadvertent or not, she's found a way.
Oh, Chloe Mann throws it up. It goes in.
You saw the flex, though.
I saw the flex. She's got 15.
Yeah, she's been competing.
That won't go for McKeer. Grand Canyon trying to cut into a 30-point deficit. Ta'Niya, under 10. Man on the drive. Stops, out of room, gets it to Douglas. She's in trouble here, and it's a shot clock violation.
Great defensive possession for South Carolina.
Don Stanley talked about it, John, what she wanted to see improve. She said, I know we're going to be able to put points on the scoreboard. What I don't know is how many we can eliminate our opponents from getting. So she'd like their defensive connection to get better. It's only going to get better as the season goes on. It's been good the last couple of possessions. And one. Isla McDowell.
Yeah, Isla McDowell getting to a nice little pull-up jump shot, recognizing that the defender was in recovery mode and rose up over him and knocked down the midi.
McDowell, number 22 in the class of 2025. Competed for Brazil's under-18 national team. And finished the three-point play. Move. Now Man. Man for three. Offensive rebounds. Move is denied. Here has it stolen. Carly Johnson the other way for Grand Canyon. Gets it up to Man. Stays in bounds. But throws it away. Now it's Taya. Possession arrow in favor of South Carolina. Diamond Wright checks in for Grand Canyon, freshman guard from Springfield, Oregon. Father Darrell played football at Oregon. This boy Man gets some instruction from Coach Gandy. Dowda. Now Latson. She'll kick. She'll Let's try to find Latson. That time it's a turnover. We'll be hearing that connection, John, all season long with Johnson to Latson.
Yes, yeah, you will hear it. Trying to find each other there. I will say one of Grand Canyon's adjustments was throwing different defensive schemes at South Carolina. Instead of just keeping it one type of scheme, which was protecting the paint, they've come out on the perimeter, made South Carolina have to show that they can shoot the ball, and then they will go and play, you know, guard-related defense where they'll say, all right, what's your post going to do? And so they've tried to keep them in balance offensively.
The second half has been pretty even. It's about a 30-point lead at halftime. Gamecocks lead by 30 right now. Latson. Del Tack checks in for the Gamecocks. Someone who enrolled January of 2024 after a season-ending knee injury in her senior year of high school. 23 games last season for South Carolina. Auntie can't hit the long two. An offensive rebound for the Lopes. And a miss there. Grand Canyon leading the offensive rebounding category.
Yeah, I mean, they understand that they have not had many opportunities to score the ball. But if they can find a way to get more opportunities, they're going to crash. And what they've been doing is crashing 5 at the basket.
Another and one opportunity upcoming for McDowell. Foul called on Carly Johnson.
Yeah, Isla McDowell has been aggressive in this second half, really attacking smaller defenders that have tried to guard her and going right at him.
She's got size, athleticism. Been a winner at every level. For a three-point play. And she gets it. Douglas. Got the shot off. Another offensive rebound, but that's denied by Del Tack. And now it's Latson who looks to push. This Jeffries went down hard. She'll pick up the foul. Her third. Latson at the line. 3 for 6 tonight. 4 for 7. How about that? 118 straight weeks inside the AP top 10, the longest active streak in the NCAA. Talked about the standard, John, early in the broadcast.
Yeah, I mean, part of that too is fantastic recruiting. Bringing in the right model, the right players that fit the model. And showing them how to win.
Close quickly on Ineza. Another offensive rebound for the Lopes. Now strong rebound for McDowell. And she'll draw the foul.
Yeah. And right now you're seeing a small lineup from South Carolina putting McDowell at that 4. Immediate timeout here with 5 minutes to go. South Carolina leads Grand Canyon 86
to 51.
Here at the University of South Carolina, I didn't have to choose between playing D1 ball and law school. You know, ever since I came here, my world just started expanding. They put me on this hallway with a bunch of doors, and every door could be an opportunity. It's been a whole community of people who helped me transform my competitiveness on the court to doing meaningful work. I came here as a competitor. I left more certain of who I am and the impact I want to make.
What powers her? Her team, her family, her fans, her food. At Sprouts, we're on a mission to power women on and off the field. We nourish strength. We feed ambition. We fuel women's health on all journeys, whether she's bringing home a win or winning at dinner. Sprouts is powering greatness.
A blind spot that's never out of sight. How it should be. The Hyundai Tucson.
Lease the Tucson for $239 a month or get 0% APR on the Tucson or Tucson Hybrid. Visit your local Hyundai dealer today.
Grand Canyon really showing the ability to compete with the #2 team in the country in this second half. Look at their upcoming schedule. It's the toughest non-conference schedule that Grand Canyon has ever had. None tougher than, of course, opening night here in Columbia. They'll be battle-tested as they get into Mountain West play. They're coming off a 32-3 season. They were undefeated in league play in the WAC. They were WAC champions. Trip to the NCAA tournament where they fell to Baylor in a 4-13 matchup in Waco. Now a complete overhaul. A new conference as they enter the Mountain West. Molly Miller, after a very successful 5 seasons at Grand Canyon, went 117-38 there. She took over at Arizona State. So the Lopes replaced a winner with another winner in Winston Gandy, someone who saw a lot of wins the last 2 seasons on the staff at South Carolina. National championship assistant coach, looking to bring that pedigree to Grand Canyon. Of course, they lost all 5 starters, returned only 2 players from last season's squad. We talked about the 14 newcomers, 4 freshmen, 10 transfers. John, they're hoping that mix can replace all the scoring lost from last season's tournament team. And 6 of the transfers are from power conference schools, including 2 from the SEC.
Yeah, we talked about this earlier in the game where changing conferences is extremely difficult to be successful in right away. One way to get yourself ready for things that you can't expect right away is to play a full, diverse schedule like Grand Canyon has scheduled this upcoming season, preparing themselves for any and everything that they could face. So Coach Gandy did a really good job of putting something together where his players can be battle-tested by the time conference play rolls around.
The battle tonight, trailing 86-51. It's the #2 team in the country. Tessa Johnson, a whistle. That will go against Grand Canyon and a frustrated Chloe Mann. She picks up her 3rd.
Yeah, that's a tough play to deal with, that horns action where you have a guard on the elbow, big on the other elbow, and you run several actions to see what you get, and then a ball screen close to the basket where it's hard for help to have an opportunity.
And the floater, McDowell, doesn't get the roll. Man gets bumped. Tessa Johnson picks up the foul. It's only her 1st. Man will inbound for the Lopes. Finds Douglas. Man, a tough 2. Back iron. There's the length of Okote. McKeer to get it to Edwards. Ayadelli got in the way.
Yeah.
The upcoming schedule for the Gamecocks. They'll next play at home on Friday against Bowling Green. We'll have that, John, at 7 p.m. And the rivalry matchup with Clemson.
Yeah, it should be some great games for South Carolina to continue to test themselves in different ways and see different schemes that teams are going to be trying to throw at them and be able to respond by the time conference time comes around.
Time out Grand Canyon. Here's some of the notable non-conference matchups this season for the Gamecocks. USC, Duke, and Louisville on the slate, John.
Yeah, and obviously already seeing North Carolina in a exhibition where they were able to test themselves and see what they were capable of and see things that you can work on. Those are all drawing board games where they can continue to add on to how they can be more connected as a unit to get ready for a grueling SEC conference.
They'll play either UCLA or Texas after Duke. You're talking about a team that's made 5 straight Final Fours, national runner-up last season, the year prior, of course, an undefeated season and a national championship. But what a powerhouse program that Dawn Staley has built. Just think about the success of a redshirt senior in Raven Johnson. In her first 4 years, she's seen 4 Final Fours, 3 championship games, and 2 titles. Can they get back there and take it home this season? No reason why they can't. While graduation injuries have depleted the roster temporarily, John, they still have plenty of talent, bringing back 6 healthy letter winners from last season to that core, adding the nation's leading scorer, a talented center from Mississippi State via the transfer portal, a couple freshmen they're very high on. This team may be a little more perimeter-oriented than years past, but they still have balance and enough depth right now. Of course, arguably, they have the best coaching staff in the nation.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything you just said is spot on. I think that having more of a guard presence is good for this unit because they have always been historically good in the front court. They always have world-class post players, and they still have that. I mean, Medina Okoth, once she gets herself into a rhythm, could really take over a game. And you have to have that balance when she gets those types of games from the perimeter to be able to neutralize what's happening in the paint.
The Gamecocks go down. Tack rips it away, goes down again. Jump ball's called. Carolina possession.
And you got to respect the feistiness from Grand Canyon, who are fighting for those loose balls, fighting for those extra possessions, not giving up on the play. You're also noticing that when South Carolina gets the rebound, they are jamming them to make it difficult for them to get an open floor opportunity. If it's not a clean rebound, they're sending 2 at you right away so that South Carolina has to throw some help down there instead of sprinting the floor and seeing if they can get an easy layup and really trying to make this into a half-court game.
37-point lead for the Gamecocks. Here finds an open sack. Tessa Johnson pulls up, rattles it in.
Yeah, great possession there for South Carolina. McKeer understanding that the cross-court pass was there. Tessa Johnson chasing to get to the open space on the floor.
She has 17 points. 10 seconds for Wright. Now it's Douglas. Guarded by the much taller Tack. Douglas been so tough all night. Draws the foul.
Yeah, she's been Mighty Mouse out there, going into the trees with the Lions, Tigers, and Bears and fighting for her life and trying to draw fouls. She's going to have to get a bodysuit soon if that is going to be what she's planning on doing the entire season. But she's had a lot of success in going in there and battling.
3 for 4 from the line so far tonight. Hits the first. lefty, hits them both. Edwards carves a path inside. 13 points for Joyce Edwards.
And can we just say that it has been a quiet 13 for Joyce Edwards? She is capable. This is what we're talking about, that the potential for her could lead to huge games and being one of those dominant interior players in the country.
She's part of the balance of South Carolina tonight. She's won 5 Gamecocks in double figures.
She could serve as a matchup discrepancy depending on what position she plays, because she's also capable of playing that 3 position.
Johnson's been so good. 19 points for Tessa Johnson.
That's the thing about Tessa Johnson. She's 6 foot. All right, that is a big guard. And so Coach Staley is going to put her in situations and schemes where she can post up and get to her nice little fadeaway jumper.
Diamond right. Drives on McKeer. McKeer does well to affect the shot. McKeer at 6'1", running the point right now. Johnson. She's short. Rebound for Douglas. One and a half to go. Five-six Douglas matched up with Edwards. Now McDowell. Johnson, hands on the pass. Will stay with Grand Canyon.
Yeah, Johnson always has her hands active to see if she can get a deflection or a touch on the ball to disrupt the flow. Grand Canyon, she has been stellar in the weak side and help side in today's game.
Time running down on this possession. And an air ball.
Hey girl, what up?
1:08 to go. Gamecocks will take their time. Here with 5 points in her debut so far. Edwards finds an open tack. That's off of Joyce Edwards, Grand Canyon basketball.
It's one thing that Coach Staley talked about was getting more connectivity, not only on the defensive end, but between the front court players and finding each other and getting the ball to your teammate at the right time, the most advantageous time for them to score the ball, and that comes with reps.
Carly Johnson is fouled. Isla McDowell picks up her second. Tack knocked it away from Carson momentarily, but he'll stay with Grand Canyon. 15 on the shot clock. 36 on the game clock. Carly Johnson will inbound. We'll go the other way.
Yeah, South Carolina, I like that even though there's 36 seconds left on the clock, they're not taking their foot off the gas on the defensive end. Because we know, even though they're up a large margin, Coach Staley, with her, that's a non-negotiable.
Edwards. Can't hit, rebound for Carson. Another whistle that will go against South Carolina. It's Diamond White on the drive. She will head to the free throw line. Kier picks up the foul, her fourth. Right, looking to get on the score sheet. Picks up her first college point. One of two. Edwards with the rebounds. They can dribble out the clock. They will go in the books as a 94-54 victory. South Carolina wins by 40 on opening night. They continue to put up impressive numbers at home, John.
Yeah, that's a solid first official game for South Carolina. Really dominating on all facets of the game, whether it be in the paint area, driving, shooting, open floor opportunities, and defensive intensity. It's been fun to watch in tonight's game.
South Carolina was led by Ta'Niya Latson, 20 points in her Gamecocks debut. Edwards had 13, Tessa Johnson with 19. Ocote had 12, Raven Johnson with 11. A lot of Gamecocks, John, in double digits.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was a lot of unselfish basketball play between this team. Really just trying to find the open man and put the ball in their hands and make sure that they took advantage of any opportunity given to them from the defense. I like their adjustments. And
both of y'all could take this. 9 3-pointers in the first half. I mean, each been saying that you can score those this year, but you expect it to come so fluidly, especially just in that first half?
Yeah, that was a goal. We wanted to get up a lot of threes, especially the guards. So coming out, we knew we had to shoot them, especially good, good open shots. We just had to create for each other.
Tonight, I know you've had a couple exhibitions under your belt with this team, but what was it like finally, a game that mattered and having that playing in front of a home crowd like that?
Yeah, it meant a lot. That was my first official home game here. It was a good experience. The fans came out. My teammates, they gave me confidence. I was comfortable coming into the game. So yeah, I'm just happy.
Ms. MVP.
Raven, is this like the dream reunited and everything? What was it like for you having her out there, knowing what she can do and what she can bring this team?
She makes things easier. I mean, my instinct is to go her way, find her wherever she is, and don't ask me why it's like that, but it's like that. And I just think, she brings out the best in me, honestly. She makes me play harder than what I'm capable of. So. Here's the front row.
Raven, between you two up there and Tessa, you had 14 assists combined tonight. What's kind of the key to success, I guess, to being able to operate your offense off the dribble the way you guys did tonight?
Come on, Tony.
I mean, just building chemistry in practice. Me and Tessa talk a lot. We're both on the wings, and then Raven, she's just finding us. Like I said, just building confidence and chemistry with each other, and getting those reps in is very important. And then finding the open man. That's what Coach always, insists on. Just one more mentality.
Raven, about a month ago, you talked a lot about how offense was sort of your off-season goal. Did it feel like just more comfortable, like your old self? Sort of what did this first official game feel like from that end?
Honestly, Coach always said just be ready, lock and loaded when you open, because, some teams probably not going to play the three for me. So when it's open, I'm going to shoot it. And then I have my teammates. They always be like, they bring a lot of confidence, and they tell me, who I am. So I think that helps a lot.
For both of you, I know that foul trouble kind of led to having to go to a 4-guard lineup at points during the game. Just how do you feel like you guys kind of handled that and adapting to it in game?
Just playing off of each other. The chemistry that we built in practice, bringing the practice habits to the game is very important for, us. And like I said, just building that chemistry, getting in reps together. And then on the floor tonight, we knew we had foul trouble, so we just had to go out there and just tough it out.
Yeah.
Tonight, I think a couple of your assists also went to Raven on some three-pointers. Career high for threes in a game for you tonight, by the way, with 4. Tonight, what did that feel like? From your end, just being able to play with her again, 4 or 5 years later.
Yeah, I feel like we have like an invisible string on the court. Like we find each other, we always looking for each other. The chemistry is there. It's been there since high school. So just seeing her knock down shots, I'm really proud of her. I just want to see her win this season, and we're gonna do this together. So I'm proud of her.
All right, we're going one more match.
Hey, Raven, Winston was just in here, and he called you the best in the business. And I just want to know, what did he do for you as a player during his time here at South Carolina?
Ooh, the adversity I went through here, Winston was there all the time. I mean, it wasn't even with basketball. It was things, I went through a lot of stuff outside of basketball, and he was one of the first people I went to help me, and he seen me cry through my highs and my lows. And just to say someone like him been there, it means a lot. And with the shooting last year, he used to tell me, you can shoot. Like, he used to fix little things with my shot, and he always used to bring confidence in me and tell me who I am. So I miss Winston, honestly, and I'm excited to see him in a head coach position because he's going to do great things.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Dawn, any update on Maddie and what exactly happened? I don't think I got a good look at it.
I think she got kneed in her knee. Is she okay? She won't practice tomorrow, but neither will anybody else because we're off. Maddie's pretty tough. Maddie heals up pretty quickly, so I'm not too worried. Any other questions? Chad? Chad, how slow on the hands this season when you're struggling? Everybody's rusty.
Obviously, great play from your trio of guards, Tessa, Ta'Niya, and Raven. What do you like about what that trio brings to the floor, and was it a welcome sight for them to get off to the start they did today?
They're our most experienced guards, so you tend to expect those type of things. I'm impressed with the efficient part of it. They're very, very efficient, and more likely they're getting some layups. Like, you can't just be a jump shooter. They're attacking the basket. They're getting layups. They're in a pretty good rhythm, and they practice that way. They practice like it's a game. So when it's game time, it's just the same type of rhythm.
I was going to ask you about the guards as well. Just Raven hitting 3-pointers, and her and Ta'Niya, it seems like they haven't missed a beat from high school. That partnership, how potent do you think that can be this year?
There's in a team in which we got 4 new players, we got total 7 players who haven't played a whole lot of minutes for us. It's good to have that instant chemistry from them playing high school and AAU together. So that's something that we can bank. We just have to start connecting, just have a connection out there. 4 new starters. So it's just going to take a little bit of time for us to create the chemistry that we need to be better, especially defensively, because we got a lot of work. It's a lot different than what we're used to. So we just have to figure it out, and we're in the season now, so games are going to have to be that, and it's not our normal way of doing things, but it's the cards that we've been dealt.
Don had to go with the 4-guard lineup a couple times and different variations of that after some foul trouble. I guess just what did you like from it, and how would you evaluate what you saw from it?
Haven't done it in practice. We just did it because we needed a better matchup, and we were in that foul trouble. It's okay. Wasn't like, oh, we got to do it again, but we have to do it again because teams will play small ball on us, and we just got to get used to it. I thought Isla did a really good job at just continuing to fight, just continuing to play. Giving multiple efforts defensively and on the boards. And, some people need to take a page out of her book because, If we could play like that, it'll clean up some of the mishaps that we have out there.
Dawn, you said you still need to do a lot of work defensively. What did you like from your defense tonight, and what is kind of the main area that you'd like to see improved?
I think in the beginning our ball screen defense was a little cleaner than it was when we played UNC, and then they made adjustments, and then we couldn't quite keep the same discipline, and then when we're switching when we're not supposed to switch, and we're point switching, and I don't even know where they got that from. Like, I really don't know where they got, let's switch. Like, it's not been a part of who we've been. Again, though, other people come in with habits, and if that's what they do, they don't even do that in practice. Like it was new to see that, and it was not just one. It was like our starting guards did it. They all did it at certain times. They would leave their player and go rebound, and was like really, really undisciplined basketball that we have to clean up. Luckily we could put points on the scoreboard. I do like the fact that we could put points on the scoreboard, but we can't rely on scoring 90 points every game.
David?
Dawn, you've been blessed with a lot of dominant bigs, over the years, and now you kind of have a driving guard like Latson. Just how much, maybe not pressure does it take off the inside game, but how much you maybe have to change your coaching style and the playbook to accommodate that?
We need both. we need a dominant big. We need Medina to step up. Joyce is going to do her thing. But we need Medina, we need Adele. Adele's giving us what she can give us for right now until she continues to get more game experience. We need Miriam to step up, but we need Medina to be dominant. No doubt about it. I don't think we go very far. We don't have her contributing a little more than what she's doing. But again, it's new. So, it's going to take some time for her to get there, and we're going to push her towards that. I'm hoping she didn't like her play. I'm hoping she didn't like the 17 minutes that she played and comes back. You just have to figure out how and when or where those buttons are to push.
In the front, Elijah.
Coach Winston was in here earlier talking about how you can't take everything away from a team like yours. That's why he was wanting to pack the paint earlier in that first half, and that's when you guys kind of went for 9 threes in that first half and got a lot of really good looks. But what does it say about your team offensively to be able to adjust to a team that is trying to take that away and still be able to get those type of looks on the perimeter?
I think we got to experience guard play, and you can go pretty far with guard play, like good guard play, but at some point you're gonna need the bigs to come alive, and they did pack it early, and we kind of knew that he was going to gap defense it. So we really just told our players, stay locked, loaded, and shoot the ball in rhythm, and that's what we did.
Not to change the attention to 2026, but you guys did announce today you're going to go back to Paris next year, and you guys obviously were the trendsetters with that. Why are you guys so excited to and want to do that again next year, going back to Paris?
It was a great trip. It was a great, memorable trip. It was a great experience for our players. Our fans traveled like it was very similar to a home game, and I hope we have a French player on our roster to take home. It's recruiting.
And you won a title at the end of that year.
We
too,
sure
right?
did.
Yes.
We sure did.
Dawn, what was it like having Winston back here? What did you think of his team? And as a coach, are you comfortable in that situation where you're, going up against assistants, former assistants?
I think Winston's done a great job with only having 2 or 3 players left on that roster. Him recruiting and getting the talent that he got. For him to come in here and play us, maybe he thought it was probably going to be closer. Maybe he thought he could win. And that's the type of attitude you need to bring, in a place like this. I didn't, I liked our chances, but I didn't think it was a sure win. Just from him being able to coach and probably know some of our weaknesses. No, I mean, anybody that comes in here that, whether they're family or a foe, we want to beat. So it was cool. It's cool. It'll be cool to have Fred back with his team, and I hope it's the same results.
A lot of great guards have played for South Carolina, but it just feels like Tessa has this elite ability to read defenses and create her own shot. How much will that versatility play? Foul trouble, a point guard goes down like they did tonight, just her ability to kind of score with anyone out there and do it no matter what the defense is giving her.
I mean, Tessa's been building. She's been building towards being this type of guard for the past 2 years. Great, better freshman year than sophomore year to me. She just really got serious. Like, I don't think she liked her sophomore season. So it's on the player. It really is on the player to understand who they are, what they can be, pour into and put the work in. Tessa puts the work in. Tessa has always put the work in. Tessa probably did not get the results that she got, that she's supposed to get last year, but she probably didn't put the work in that she put in the year before. So you have to make adjustments, and she's been putting in the work. And that's what junior's supposed to look like. When they put it all together, when they trust, when they believe, and when they understand their process, that's what it looks like. I don't have to say much to Tessa. I don't. She comes to practice. She plays on both sides of the basketball. She works before, after practice. She probably comes in and practices on her own, shoots on her own. And that's the maturation process for someone coming to college. It isn't, it isn't anything but that. And when they have the understanding, it ain't us that's moving the needle, it's them that's moving the needle, and Tessa's right where she needs to be.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you.